I want to share with you three things that set seven-figure business owners on this, what seems to be a massive path to gigantic success and market share, and sets five-figure. Ever wonder what separates the mega successful real estate pros, the seven-figure real estate pros, the ones that are really kind of blazing a trail and setting the trends and seem to be making all the money, from the five-figure, the under $100,000 revenue real estate professionals? There are three things actually that in over 8,000 coaching calls and lots of other research and experience that we've been through here at the coaching company that sets those two groups apart really significantly. And I want to kind of peel back a couple of layers and show you exactly what it looks like and what the big contrasts are. So you can take some of the information and adopt it into your business. If you're growing your business and want it to be as big as it possibly could be, or even if you're just stuck and know there's some things you're missing, you'll want to stay tuned for what we're going to unpack here. So, all right, the seven-figure business owners that we've studied do three things really similarly if they're really doing. First thing that seven-figure business owners tend to do at a high level is they share information with their clients proactively. And what I mean by that is they share things like, is this the best time to buy? Is this the right time to buy? If I sell now versus the fall, what impact does that have on my on equity? If tariffs remain in place and they get to be X level with this country, what does that mean for my ability in this tech town that I live in to buy or sell going forward? Right? They're answering questions like that for their database members, for their followers, for their tribe before they ask them, right? Because we know that as professionals, we know the questions that our clients typically ask, and they're curious about, and the things that they need to know to make a good decision with a buyer or sell. And what the seven-figure business owners that we coach and are in business with do is they share that information proactively. What do the five-figure business owners, the ones that are making less than $100,000 per year, do with information? Not much. That's the challenge, right? Is they wait to be asked some of those questions. They don't practically share information, and they may not even know the answer to when a client asks, is this the right time for me to buy? They may not know the question to ask next to help them make that decision, right? That's our job. That's the experts in this industry, the ones making the seven-figure and building those businesses that big, are answering those questions proactively, and they know the answer to them before they begin to talk about them as the expert. Second thing that seven-figure business owners do is they're actively building a database of trusted pros at all times. And I mean, when I mean pros, I mean people who intend to make great real estate decisions versus those who sometimes dabble in an investment perspective, or are not that interested in using real estate really effectively, whether it's a wealth building or really being dynamic about the place that they tend to call home. Those that care about the real estate market and how it affects their decisions and the lives that they're building. Our seven-figure pros are always attracting members like that and then talk to them at a high level. Covered that a minute ago. And they're always building this database, and they're continuing to communicate with it. So each week, for example, those pros have a plan to add people to the top of we call it a funnel in a good way, a funnel of people that are now, we have an opportunity to build even more trust with them, and hopefully down the line, earn their business and even the business that they know, like, and trust also, the extended database. They build that as a kind of a one thing. The five-figure and below business owners that we're talking about, they may or may not have a database, and likely it's maybe the database that's in their phone, right? They've got a partial list of professionals that they work with. Their follow-up systems are either non-existent or haphazard. And they go to a class and they decide that this is the class I'm going to go to, where I'm actually going to talk to my database, and they get the workbook and print it out and stick it up on top of the shelf, or they calendar all these items and begin to clean out the database that is really the only thing missing between them and a fantastic business to own, only to find out that doing this all along really is the secret sauce, building this database. And the third one I want to talk about that our seven-figure business owners do at a high level is they're always building influence and building a brand by being what we call uncommonly great, right? They're doing things in real estate in both in real estate in the community and just in the community in general, both online, in social media, and in person in transactions, at closing tables, at listings, at title company discussions, right? Where at zoning meetings, I have a client who's literally is helping draft the code to do auxiliary dwellings in on the West Coast. They call them. I have a client who's actually doing helping the city draft the legislation. Right? He's on a committee to draft legislation on doing ADUs in his town on the West Coast. Talk about being uncommonly good and uncommonly educated in terms of what the next trend is in real estate and real estate development and real estate ownership, who became a good friend, and the bank that they were working with out of a project that had just lost momentum, right? A condo project here had just stopped selling, right? It was a gorgeous project that they had built. It was complete. They had all the marketing right. They had all the execution right. They had the layouts right. They had the location right. The market just caught them at a time that was tough. And so we helped them retell the story, renegotiate some of the conversations that were happening in the community, and essentially rebuilt the project and got it sold. Took a couple of years and a ton of dedication and a skill set for sure, right? Uncommonly good versus just sticking a sign in somebody's yard and hoping a buyer's agent stops by and brings an offer. Right. So, and what do five-figure business owners do in term versus being uncommonly good is they're making a list of their mistakes sometimes, right? And vowing to find out what they did wrong and why, and maybe not doing it again, right? So uncommonly good to solving problems that are real challenges for people, to the five-figure database who's barely able to write down what went wrong and maybe not able to fix it later. And so the five-figure business owner is barely writing down problems that happened in the transaction at all, instead of being proactive in solving the big problems that are that difficult to solve and would warrant someone calling you uncommonly great. Being uncommonly great attracts talent, right? It attracts great clients. It attracts other realtors to want to be in your world. It attracts leaders to look at you in terms of who you're following, what decisions you're making, whose lives you're influencing. That's what uncommonly great pros do. So here's the question, right? Is we covered the three things that seven-figure realtors do at a super high level, right? They proactively share information. They're telling people what they need to hear with the questions that are in their brains now and will help them make a great decision going forward. They're also building a database all the time and attracting talent at a very high level, very consistently, with people that they can have a shot at earning their business because they've showed them how talented they are and how much they care, and then hoping that they'll actually, over time, refer other people to the community, which helps us build the database, which is the third thing we talked about, which is they're always building the database of being people that can be uncommonly great for, right? I gave the example of the project that we helped sell and reposition, which was having a difficult time when we first met. And we got that because we had become experts in the area. We had done uncommonly great things before, in terms of getting tough listings sold and being in tough negotiations on the buy side, so that we were recognized as that leader and got that opportunity to do a larger project and also be, in this case, uncommonly great. So what else do you want to hear? I'd love to hear your uncommonly great stories in the comments. And then what else you want to know about this is only three, other things that seven-figure business owners do in a real estate perspective that the five-figure, the under $100,000 real estate professionals are just not doing. Leave in the comments below. Thanks for watching.